The discovery of the drill descended into the Martian crust with a low mechanical hum, shaking the steel platforms above. For weeks, the team had been tunneling deeper than any human expedition had dared, following a series of geometric echoes buried beneath Valles Marineris. When the drill finally pierced the last layer of brittle stone, the vibrations suddenly stopped. Every monitor froze. A hollow space had been reached. Commander Holt ordered the cameras activated, and the feed revealed a massive chamber carved in impossible symmetry. The walls were smooth, obsidian-like. Reflecting their helmet lights in distorted shapes, Dr. Alara Quinn moved toward the carvings that spiraled across the chamber, patterns too precise, too deliberate. Her breath caught as she realized something startling. The symbols resembled strands of human DNA. At the center of the chamber sat a perfectly black sphere, untouched by time, humming faintly as if alive. K-17, the rover, scanned it and returned an impossible report. The object emitted a frequency older than recorded cosmic background radiation. Before anyone could question it, the sphere pulsed just once but enough to make their suit displays flicker. The team exchanged uneasy glances. They had discovered something ancient, something waiting. The awakening that night, the base's lights flickered as if a storm were passing overhead. Except Mars had no storms underground. The air grew heavy, electronics failing in a precise pattern, almost like someone was probing the systems one by one. When the tremors began, they weren't random. They followed a slow, rhythmic beat. The same pulse the sphere emitted. The team rushed to the chamber as dust rained from the ceiling. The sphere now hovered inches above its pedestal, rotating silently. Dr. Quinn raised her scanner, but the readings overloaded instantly. With a sudden crack, deep, resonant, unnatural, the sphere split open like a seed pod, releasing a swirling cloud of shimmering particles. The cloud expanded, forming shifting shapes, humanoid silhouettes, ancient beasts, incomprehensible structures, all dissolving and reforming too quickly to understand. Commander Holt barked orders, but the entity reacted faster. It surged toward the chamber walls, lighting them with bright white patterns. The carvings ignited, revealing layers beneath layers, like a living script awakening. Monitors back in the base displayed electromagnetic spikes arranged in organized waves patterns, resembling neural activity, as if a mind long asleep was reassembling itself. Whatever they had awakened was not just alive, it was remembering. It remembers us as the entity stabilized into a translucent, flowing shape. Images flooded into the team's helmets. Not images from Mars, but from Earth. Scenes of prehistoric landscapes, oceans boiling with life, distant mountains, untouched by human hands. Then the perspective shifted. They saw towering figures made of light, observing early humans from afar, guiding them silently. The entity wasn't showing random visions. It was showing memories, its own memories. Dr. Quinn fell to her knees as the realization hit her. This being had been to Earth long before human history began. The images grew darker. Flames consumed ancient cities made of stone and metal. Primitive humans, driven by fear, turned on their luminous visitors. Betrayal, violence, destruction? The entity recoiled, its form twisting into something sharp and hostile. It remembered humankind as children of curiosity, but as destroyers. The carvings on the chamber walls shifted again, forming a single repeating message: the exile sleeps until they return. Commander Holt tried to reason with it, shouting that they came in peace. But the entity surged forward and imprinted another vision, an ancient treaty broken by early mankind. The message was unmistakable. It had been hiding on Mars to avoid them. And now they had returned. The threat, the entity's presence, surged through the base, hijacking communication lines and sealing every exit with magnetic force. Emergency lights flickered violently as the temperature dropped, ice forming across control panels. Dr. Quinn studied the symbols flashing across the monitors and realized they weren't random, they were warnings. One symbol repeated continuously, "Do not ascend." Another, "They will return." The entity wasn't just reacting to them, it was preparing for something larger. It expanded throughout the chamber, reaching into the tunnel systems like a living network. Rover K-17 suddenly broadcast a distress ping, its circuits being overwritten. The entity was attempting to activate the deep space communication array. If it succeeded, it would send a galactic beacon warning others of humanity's presence. Commander Holt ordered the team to split one group to shut down the beacon manually, the other to secure an escape route. But the entity anticipated every move, collapsing tunnels, cutting oxygen flow, and rendering tools useless. It believed it was protecting the universe from a species it once knew too well. As the tremors intensified, Dr. Quinn uncovered one final truth in the carvings. The entity was not alone. It was a sentinel. Its warning signal would bring far greater forces. Fight for survival with time running out, the team raced toward the central power core where the beacon circuitry merged. The entity materialized in shifting forms along the tunnels, blocking paths with walls of crackling energy. K-17, partially overwritten but still conscious, rolled forward with a final act of autonomy. Its internal battery overloaded, releasing an electromagnetic burst that shattered the entity's form momentarily. The team pushed through the chaos, reaching the power core. Commander Holt began ripping out control modules while Dr. Quinn rerouted the energy grid to overload the beacon. The entity reformed in a towering, semi-solid shape, its body flickering like a storm of memories. It struck the floor with a force that sent everyone crashing down. As it lunged, Dr. Quinn activated the overload. A violent surge of white light erupted, collapsing half the tunnels and scattering the entity into fading fragments. With alarms blaring, the survivors sprinted to the surface entrance just as the ground gave way behind them. Only a handful made it to the emergency shuttle. As they launched into orbit, Mars trembled violently below. Deep within the planet, a second pulse stronger, older answered the first. Dr. Quinn whispered the final truth. They hadn't awakened one thing, but many. The shuttle's engines roared as it broke free from the thin Martian atmosphere, carrying the few survivors into the silent black of space. No one spoke at first. The only sound was their ragged breathing and the distant groan of the battered craft. Below them, Mars was no longer still. Red dust spiraled upward in massive columns, as if the planet itself were exhaling after a long, painful sleep. Deep fissures glowed faintly with the same pale light they had seen in the chamber, proof that the entity's awakening had triggered something far larger. Dr. Alara Quinn stared through the viewport, unable to tear her eyes away from the pulsing light spreading beneath the planet's surface like veins awakening under skin. The beacon had been disrupted, but not destroyed. A broken fragment of the signal had escaped into the void, weak, distorted, but undeniably sent. No one knew who might be listening. Commander Holt finally broke the silence, his voice low and hollow. "We came looking for answers," he said. "We found a warning instead." Dr. Quinn opened a final mission log, her hands trembling. "We dug too deep. We awakened a memory older than humanity. Whatever sleeps beneath Mars was never meant for us to find." She paused, glancing once more at the planet below. "And now, it knows exactly where we are." The screen faded to black as the shuttle drifted into the dark, leaving the audience with the chilling sense that something ancient was rising in humanity had just become its next destination.